Hello, everybody. This is White Wolf, and we're going to be talking about, are we afraid to ask for divine guidance? If you're just awakening, if you're just attuning to your psychic gifts, if you're just coming onto the spiritual path, just know, don't be afraid to ask in the age of information. We have everything at our disposal to really ask for divine guidance. We have everything in our lives to try to understand more about spirituality, reflect, meditate upon, have new intentions that we come up upon, and also just ways to affirm, ways to recognize, ways to be more cognizant about our spiritual journey, and knowing that you can always ask for divine guidance. It's at your disposal. Don't be afraid to ask for assistance, and know that there's other human beings that are just like you that are asking for assistance all the time. And don't be afraid to look at new gifts. Don't be afraid to look at new inspirations, look at new business ventures. And also just know that there's people on this planet that are here to resonate with you. And just let me know if the internet connection is good. And that was my opening for this live, but you can also book a private session with me, 1 hour for $70 for psychic readings, healings, activations. This is White Wolf. Welcome to the live feed. I'm very thankful to be a part of you guys and you be a part of me. And just know that we're all having prophetic visions. We're all seeing orbs. We're all seeing extraterrestrials. We're all channeling extraterrestrials. We're embarking on different relationships with soul contracts, with twin flames, with soulmates, and all that kind of stuff. So we're relationally coming more into balance with the non-physical essence of reality. So we're actually understanding infinite multiplicity, and we're tapping into the absolute reality. So now that we're here and we have this understanding that our guidance mechanism, our emotional guidance system, is trying to tell us something, is trying to tell us on how we feel, is trying to tell us how we should meditate, and it's trying to tell us how we can be more of a positive reinforcement within the world and embark great change, and to know that we're having a vibrational relationship with the I am. And the question you should ask yourself, have you ever been alone on this earth plane? It's a big question to ask. Have you ever been alone? If you can look at the stuff in your life that has happened, look at your trauma, look at your suffering, look at the catalyst, look at the lessons. Have you ever been alone on this earth plane? Has God's source energy forgotten about you? Do you know that you're one of the chosen? Do you know that you're one of the anointed? Do you know that you want to ask for divine guidance? And just know that by asking, you're believing in the very fact that you can receive. You can receive from people like me. You can book private sessions with people. And we have the age of information. We have the internet. We also have books. We also have channeling through a notebook. But sometimes it's just having the urgency to act upon a desire. It's the urgency of acting upon what feels right in the moment, what feels spontaneous. And what I mean by multiplicity is that you're tapping into every aspect of your personality, and you're also tapping into the archetypes of your archangels and your guides and your higher self, and you're learning how to channel the higher self. Everybody is trying to channel their higher self. So we're trying to become the higher self. We allow ourselves to do the inner work so that the outer reality, our exterior reality, changes with us. And we allow ourselves to tap into that Kundalini energy, which is release, which is letting go, which is allowing ourselves to have flow of energy. But there can't be lack or restriction or friction in between what we want and what we think we should have. So this person's like Dragon's Book by Diana Cooper, The Law of One, Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. Those are 3 books that you can read easily, and I believe they will be very beneficial. So we have masters, we have guides, we have angels, we have extraterrestrials. So there's many different avenues that we can ask for help. We're not here alone. We're not going at this with a lone wolf mentality. We're coming to a place of union, and we're trying to bring everybody together to be inventors, to be writers, to be poets, to be people of great change and influence. So when we're asking for divine guidance, what we're doing is that, how can I be of a bigger help? How can I be divine assistance? How can I be that divine intervention with somebody? How can I be that? How can I be somebody's prayer that is answered? How can I set the miracle in motion so that I can flow with my energy and flow with the current and generate more prophecies and becoming prophetic visions and learning and discerning your dreams and looking inside of yourself and seeing what you are reflecting back? What signals are you putting out there? What intentions are you putting out there? So if you are in this live feed, let me know if the feed is good. Let me know if the internet connection is good, because sometimes on these live feeds it can be very shoddy. And thank you all for your comments. I love the recommendation on your books and liking the live. Know that you can book a private session for 1 hour for $70 for psychic readings, healings, activations. Book a time, date, and day. And YouTube, White Wolf the Oracle, Instagram, whitewolf4741, and BitChute, White Wolf the Oracle, 23_@. So when we're asking, what we're doing is that we're setting something into motion, but we're also acting like it is done. That means asking, believing, meaning that you're aligning your belief systems, you're aligning your affirmations and your intentions, but then you're receiving and you're gaining the spiritual mass within yourself, so that you have that light body that is activated, which is the higher self. So we're becoming more of the light body, meaning that we're this embodiment of light. That means we're encompassing and encapsulating our energy, and we're using it for the highest good and the benefit of all. So how can I use my gifting, my anointing, my influence to benefit the greater of all, because that is the service to others? Because on the spiritual journey, it starts with the service to self, but then it turns into, okay, how can I help others? How can I allow others to join into union? How can I allow others to use their words of wisdom to breathe resonance, if you will? Excuse me. So it's all about resonance. It's all about seeking. It's all about questioning yourself. Don't be afraid to question yourself. Don't be afraid to question your motives. But don't be against yourself. Don't be against the grain of consciousness. Just allow the grain of consciousness to flow and allow that river to be installed within your hard drive. And knowing that when you give your life to God and you give your essence to source energy and you give everything in your power to that source of creation, it will never let you down. And letting go of attachments, initiating boundaries, letting go of feeling like you have to do things for people, or you're afraid to say something to that person and say no. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. Don't be afraid to speak affirmations. But also, if you need to speak the negativity to get it out, then speak that negativity and then throw it in the trash. That's not for you. That's not what you're made to do. You're made to be a creator. You're made to be conscious. You're made to be realization. So you're here to follow the signs, the things that make you wonder, the things that make you question, that make you seek, that make you be in the search of your spiritual journey. But then you activate the energy of reception, and then you're connecting to the satellite, that radio frequency of consciousness. So you're just changing the dial, you're turning the dial. And you're reversing reflections in the act of doing that. Why? Because something could be reflecting back to you, that something that you don't like. And then you reverse it and you flip it on its head, and it's as if you're just changing the timeline that you were just on, and you're initiating this different parallel reality, but you're multiplying it because you're aligning your aspects to where they're supposed to be on their journey. So every aspect of you has a consciousness. Every aspect of you has a spiritual journey that's in different realms, different planes, different universes. This is what I teach, the monad, the I am presence. So the monad, the I am presence, is the same thing as the one infinite creator, which Ra talks about in the law of one. Like I said, you've been the infinite reality, but we got to bring it a step further and try to make it absolute, so that we are a God manifested in human form like Jesus was, the oracle of love, light, and wisdom. So we're here to tap into being a God, a creator God, a goddess. So we are people who have incarnated here as souls and have been many different things in many different lifetimes. But we've came here to plant different seeds. So as you're planting those seeds, those are particle accelerators. And then those particle accelerators go from that, which turn into reprogramming of your DNA, reprogramming of your mind, of your body. And also you turn into a light code, and then it turns into a source code. Then that source code allows you to implement the cosmic laws, the law of compensation, the law of karma, the law of assumption, the law of subtraction, the law of attraction. So all of it is essential. The law of assumption, because you're assuming that it is done for you. You're not worrying about it because you're not putting so much energy and projecting onto it. You're not putting all of that energy into that thing that you're wanting, because then you're going to pull it away from you. You want to be a magnetic force. You want to be electromagnetic kinetic source energy. So, and then you subtract because you're releasing and you're letting go and you're healing your unworthiness. So that's the law of subtraction. You have to do that before you do anything else, right? And then the law of compensation means that as much as you give, then you receive more. In understanding the law of karma, there has been many karma here. If you have children, they're karma. If you have soul contract, that's karma. If you have past lifetimes where you have been negative things and you've been a murderer or a thief or something along those lines, you have to clear that and you have to awaken it, and you have to bring it back into balance, because you're bringing your light and your dark aspects back into oneself. So all of these things that I've talked about here are laws of the universe, and I'm not naming all 12 of them because I don't think it's essential for this specific live feed, but you kind of get my drift. Is the just generating the meaning, generating the description, generating that aligned presence to where you're able to see from a different vantage point, and you're able to change your perspective. You're able to generate a sense of worthiness from understanding that none of it is negative. It's looking at, like, yes, there are negative and positive things, but you're trying to discern from the very fact, what is the light and what is the dark, and how can I bring them both into this union? How can I embrace my dark side so that my lighter side and my brighter path can come together, and that kundalini energy of release and letting go can impact me in a greater way, because I'm developing more of a masculine and a feminine trait, because you're channeling the energy of Archangel Michael, but you also have the discernment and the wisdom and the authority of Mary Magdalene, and how she had to do things in her journey and to anoint Jesus. So we're not here to discard our shadow, because if you do that, then you're not learning from your own lessons or your catalysts or the things that don't make you you. You have to love the person that you were before in order to accept the person that you are right now. So I want to reminder you guys can book private sessions for 1 hour for $70 for psychic readings, healings, activations. I love all the lives. I love all the likes. I love all the shares. Thank you all so much for tuning into this live feed. And yes, I am caffeinated up. That's why I'm kind of going through this a little quick, but I don't mean to go too fast for you guys. It's just how it is. Had a lot of caffeine. But I wanted to make this video because I feel like people are afraid to ask for guidance, because we always base things in age, in gender, in skin color, in status, and how we look. But it's not about what's on the outside. It's about what's inside of you. And what's inside of me is inside of you too. So it's about our inner work and our inner reality and our internal work to the point where we allow it to change with our external reality. So we allow ourselves to be electromagnetic kinetic source energy because we're generating the protection grid of energy. We're generating that grid of abundance. So we're becoming a grid worker because we're channeling that energy of that prophetic nature and to be able to see and discern and use wisdom and to extrapolate what everybody needs in that exact moment. So it's allowing ourselves to see that the energy that we're seeking, the abundance that we're seeking, the light that we are seeking is really right in front of us and it's all around us. And sometimes it's just about letting go of the blocks that are in your head, on your heart, wherever it may be. But it's aligning the mind and the heart together, and that is the twin heart, and then that is the Affinity 8 symbol. So we allow ourselves to see that we're generating a mind-body-spirit complex, but we're aligning our emotional guidance system with the emotions that are of positivity, abundance, and truth that actually resonate. So when your emotional guidance system tells you that you get angry of this thought that you have, like a thought of being non-abundant, a thought of not being happy, a thought of jealousy, there's a reason why that feels bad, because it's not true. It's an illusion. And you have to see that everything that generates lack is an illusion itself. So when you see that it is an illusion, you see that everything is an illusion, and you're here to meditate upon your own illusion. You're here to generate your own energy. You're here to generate your own illusion of God. So God is an illusion. And you see that not even the spaciousness is your own awareness. Not even in the nothingness is your awareness, because you don't possess your awareness. And you're not being possessed because you're choosing to channel the divine. So you allow yourself to be a vessel of the divine so that the higher self can channel you. So we're all here to channel our higher self, and a lot of people say oversoul and higher self is a red flag, and it's really not. Because do you want to keep channeling your own mind? Do you want to keep channeling suffering or trauma or limiting beliefs? Then that's what you're going to keep channeling if you don't channel the higher self. And also you can have help with channeling like beings. Like I've channeled angels, I've channeled extraterrestrials, and they will help you and guide you. And there's a reason for everything. So if you're called upon to do something, that's the calling, that is the anointing, that is the grace that you're being called to. It's always a calling. It's always being called to who you are. And it's just, are you going to answer that call? Are you going to ask for more help? Don't be afraid to ask for help, because at the end of the day, if we are afraid to ask for help, we're afraid to ask for divine guidance. And if we are afraid to ask for divine guidance, then we're not willing to come into our fullness and to come into more spiritual advancement. So it's completely just dismantling our ego, and it's really just allowing ourselves to be like that kid, and I said this on my last live, I think, to be that kid that is raising their hand in class and not to be afraid to ask a question. And knowing that there's not any judgment, and knowing that there is always acceptance, and there's always a way to accept who you really are in that moment. You have to have true acceptance beyond your own personal biases. And you have to have acceptance of everybody else and their truth in the way that they channel God. Because everybody has a type of resonance. Everybody has a type of energy. Everybody has resonance, truth, and frequency. And you may not resonate with that frequency, but you have to find what really resonates within your heart and follow it. because God's source energy will never fail you if you just follow your heart. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing, if anybody can tell you, is following your heart's desire, is following the breadcrumb trail of excitement, is following the passion that comes from generating abundance, that comes from subtracting something out of yourself, where you're generating different causes and different effects and different circumstances and experiences. Because you've always experienced every type of experience that's ever been experienced. But it's just like, okay, I've been through this simulation before. I've already experienced this before. So how can I change the direct experience of my I am presence? I guess it's just learning how to reshape the energy and be able to teleport before you make it there. So I've talked about this for years. Teleport into the manifestation before you have manifested it. And sometimes it's as easy as saying that I want that, and then 6 months later, somehow it manifests. So, but sometimes in a deep meditative state, you can place yourself right there. You can place yourself right there in that power, in that alignment, and then you're not feeling like you have to wait for it. You're not feeling like you're waiting forever for this thing that you've really wanted to happen for a very long time. And then you're like, oh my God, I've already experienced it. So if I know it is done, if I know everything is rigged in my favor, if I know that I am the divine guidance that I'm seeking myself, because you're trying to heal your unworthiness, your emotional guidance system, also the way that you view life, the way that you view the world, the way that you go about life, the way that you carry yourself, even the way that you dress, even the way that you eat and do things on a normal moment-to-moment, day-to-day basis. It's changing everything about you, and you're growing, and yes, you will have growing pains. Yes, you will have days where you deal with your shadow, that you deal with your triggers, that you deal with your emotions. But at the end of the day, it will always bring you back to a greater awareness and greater healing. And when it brings you to that, it allows you to see like what I'm embarking on is going to be so great, it's going to be so magical. And once I get on the other side of this dark night of the soul, it's going to usher into greater union within myself. So I think that's what the beautiful thing is. I think that's what's beautiful about becoming more of who we are, is truthfully not forgetting what our old self was. Excuse me. So it's not forgetting our old self. It's not forgetting what we were, and it's not forgetting the mastery that is present, that is there, and that is alive and aware and well. So I think at the end of the day, it's a choice. It's a choice to be what you want to be. It's a choice to love. It's a choice to be happy. It's a choice to channel abundance. It's a choice to ask for divine guidance. And the choice is yours. And the answer that you're seeking is the question, because that is the greatest philosophy on life. It's not always about the answer, but it's about the question that drives everything that is pondering, everything that is ominous, everything that is auspicious. So it allows us to see that when we're questioning ourselves, when we're questioning life, when we're wanting to seek more out of life and abundance and healing and generating more energy and allowing ourselves to flow with the consciousness that is present there, we allow ourselves to see that allows us to seek even harder, but not in a dumb way, but in a smart way. Instead of working harder, work smarter. And I feel like a lot of human beings, and myself included, we've been working really, really hard. We've been working so hard on this earth plane and working to our own detriment, working against the divine. And sometimes that's not good at all, to work against the divine. And to see that there is great grace and there's great wonder and there's always a pathway and a gateway for us all. So we are going to do a meditation, but if anybody is on the feed, which I don't think anybody is anymore, if anybody can let me know if the internet connection is good before I do this meditation, I actually might go check the internet connection. So let me know if anybody's in the feed, and I'm actually going to check the connection. Okay, the internet connection is good, and I'm back. So we're going to do a meditation. So we're going to call upon our guides, our higher selves, and our loved ones from the other side, and any being that you find helpful. I just want you to resonate with this meditation within your heart, and I hope that it heals you. I hope that it helps you. I hope that it speaks faith within your life, and I hope that it brings you peace. And knowing that you can ask for divine guidance at any given time, and knowing that it's never a bad question to ask for guidance. So, here we go. Everybody take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I want you to ask for the guidance of your higher self, of your guides, of your loved ones, of everything that you love, of everything that you know is sacred, of everything that really speaks with your heart and allows you to resonate with the breadcrumb trail of excitement, to follow your journey with no bias, knowing that there's always exceptions and there's always different avenues and different revenues of energy that you are able to channel with your embodiment of Christ consciousness. Know that you are here to be a creator. Know that you're here to innovate. Know that you're here to channel the abundance that is present. And just know that everything in your life is rigged in your favor. It's allowing you to understand the laws of this universe. Assume that it is done. Allow yourself to subtract every day. Subtract something out of your life, and then add something within the space to generate a different cause, a different effect, a different sense of being, a different sense of accentuating energy, so that the sensations with your emotional guidance system can be aligned with oneself, and you can align your mind and your body. And then when you do that, you're becoming the twin heart, and you're becoming the sacred flame of creation, meaning that you're holding a light source, a light body with the spiritual mass of you becoming the higher self, a torch that carries on to the next generation of energy, of prophets, of psychics, of people who meditate upon their own wisdom and their grace and their glory. So just know that everything that you want has to be placed within your vortex of energy. Multiply upon the blessings of your own existence. Claim back the power that was taken away from you. Feel empowered and equipped and unfazed. And don't be afraid to ask for divine guidance, because the very fact that you ask is you wanting more spiritual fulfillment and also more spiritual advancement. knowing that you want more out of life, knowing that you don't want to go about the same experiences and emotions and sensations the way that you've been going about them. And you just want to pick yourself up and you want to act on something for once in your life. You want to be spontaneous. You want it to be exciting. And it's not the idea, and it's not even just the doing of it, but it's the energy that is behind it. We are not here to be lacking of anything. We are not here to be unworthy. We are not here to be a burden. We're here to have all of our burdens lifted off of us. Just ask the divine for assistance. Ask the divine for help. And every time you ask, believe it is done. Believe it's being made for you. Believe that it's being made manifest before your eyes as the observer observing, as the awareness of consciousness, as the beacon of light to different gateways, to different paths, to embodying this new truth, embodying who you are. And allowing that Kundalini energy to be release and let go, and then implement, intend, and then add more within your life. Don't be afraid to walk on water. Don't be afraid to show your psychic abilities. Whatever you have suppressed, honor it, claim it, and know that it is yours. Know that it is your time for glory. Know that it is your time to shine. Know that you are the abundance and the I am presence that you're seeking. Just know that as many light codes that you send out into the universe, you're reprogramming DNA, your energy is making a big impact, and that you are allowing others to activate the quantum model. Your presence, your energy, your embodiment of Christ consciousness is allowing people to have words of wisdom, to heal, to transcend the human conditioning and the suffering and the trauma. Because with your example that you stand by, you're allowing someone else to be healed, to be released from something. Because you're coming from a place of sincerity, and you're coming from a place of love, and you're creating from a vortex, and you're generating the love, the ecstasy, and the happiness and the fulfillment by you allowing yourself to be a vessel and a divine channel of that divine guidance, which is the higher self. And just know that you're repelling all of the negativity, all of the energy that is not supposed to be there, all of the things that are not supposed to be in your life, because you are living by your preferences. You're living by your divine expression. You're living by what you stand by in your authority and your discernment and your wisdom of becoming the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom. You're here to be a God manifested in human form. You're here to be a creator, to be a teacher, to be a guide, and to be that divine ray which penetrates the darkness. Everybody take one last deep breath. Thank you guys for taking part in that meditation. I appreciate you guys joining in on the feed, being a part of the meditation, and also know that you can book a private session for $70 for psychic readings, healings, activation codes, downloads. You can find me on Cashapp, whitewolftheoracle with the $ in front of it, and paypal.me/Jacob Dylan Wolf. And also you can find me on YouTube, White Wolf the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom, and Instagram, whitewolf4741, and BitChute, whitewolftheoracle23_@. But I just want you to know, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to post content. And don't be afraid of your divine essence, because it is helping somebody. It is helping somebody push through boundaries. It is helping someone heal. It's helping someone be more of themselves. And it's helping people to be more comfortable within their divine skin. And just by you doing that is really being a leader. It's setting an example, but it's also seeing that we're all empathic and we're all souls just trying to reach a common goal and leading cause-driven. So I want to thank you all for even just being a light worker, for being brave enough to be a light worker. A lot of you have content on this platform and do live readings, and there's a lot of hate and negativity in the world, and what we're doing is that we're trying to repel that energy and to allow it to be sent back to the sun. And a thing that I've said for years, and I'll end with this, is that I was taught by my girlfriend that you can put everything that you don't want in your life, you can put it in a ball of energy, and you can put everything in there, your negativity, your limiting beliefs, all the things, ex-boyfriend, whatever it may be, put it in a ball of energy and send it right back to the sun and allow it to go to the light. And that's all you have to do, is allow all that stuff that you put in that ball of energy, send it back to the light and rid your hands of it and go on with your life. So thank you guys so much for this live feed. Thank you for the meditation that you take to part of. Book private sessions, 1 hour for $70 for readings, healings, activations. Also, you can see my payment links in the bottom there. And I love that quote, by the way. I always become better, not bitter. That's a really great thing. Even though that we go through catalysts and we go through things that we don't understand, it's through that where we initiate another path, another step, another way to see through the pain and the suffering and the lack in this world, because everything happens for a reason, and we have to discern and see through the illusion of the negativity and allow to see the light aspect of it. So always focus your eyes on the sun, always focus your perception on what brings you love, on what brings you light, of what brings you unity at the end of the day. And do not be afraid to ask for psychic guidance. So thank you guys so much. God bless, and namaste.